The cool thing about this Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden list is that it will reveal how Konami goes about making them. It will reveal that either A, Konami is on the analytical side using tournament reports, or B, if they have some super secret bunkered up test group that will dictate how Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been, meaning that they've controlled every single format until now. I don't like that. Knowing that Konami North America, Europe, and OCG all work just a little bit differently, I would have to say it's a little bit of both. We already know that they have those nerds locked up playing the new set, figuring out their formula to make you guys upset with the current card game, but I also feel that they look at tournament analytics to see which cards and which specific strategies are a little over dominant, just to tone them down a little bit. The unfortunate thing about this is, if you ask me, due to the lack of tournaments, I would say there wouldn't be a forbidden list. But that doesn't make a fun 10-minute ad-filled video, so here is a prediction list that you Yu-Gi-Oh! Junkies will love. So my current line of thinking as a Konami executive is to slow down the current strategies for cards in Toon Chaos to be able to be playable, as well as Rise of the Duelists. We are going into our next series, our 11th series for Rise of the Duelists. That tends to be the catalyst to the strongest decks of the format, so yeah, that's what we're going to base this list on. I mean, if Konami is looking for executives to be able to make a forbidden list that could piss people off and also keep the game in check, I can put my name in the hat. So starting off with my ban cards, if I am going to piss off the masses, I have to make myself upset first. I'm going to ban True King of All Calamities. Now, True King of All Calamities isn't actually as powerful as it used to be. Monster effects were so important in yesterday's Yu-Gi-Oh! They're not as important now as players have adapted, but True King of All Calamities is becoming easier and easier to summon. There are so many combos and situations where True King of All Calamities can be splashed inside of a deck, and since it is so generic, it is a card that we have to take into consideration when making this forbidden list. Unfortunately, sometimes the forbidden list doesn't hit cards because they're busted or not. You can see cards like ABC Buster Dragon and Ritual Beast Ulti kind of walk on the forbidden list, such as cards that were previously forbidden like Pot of Avarice and Shut All Construct. Those cards weren't really problematic for a format, but had to go. The reason why is because they were generic and can be abused by multiple strategies or were a part of some super devious combo. None of them were a part of a super devious combo, but that's the reason why forbidden lists do exist. Now that I have one of the more generic cards addressed, we actually have to address the two best decks of the format. Adamantipator and Edlich are strategies that I want to bring into the next series. I want players to be able to feel good about buying the Secret Slayer set, but I also want them to buy newer sets. Looking at Rise of the Duelists, I already have Adamantipator support inside of that set, so I know I can hit Adamantipator's, I just can't hit Adamantipator's. You get what I'm saying? It's okay, because you'll understand when I say I am banning Block Dragon. Unfortunately, another one of my favorite cards has to bite the dust, and it makes perfect sense for this to be hit on the forbidden list. It's a very old card. It does help Adamantipators tremendously, but it does solve our goal. It helps balance Adamantipators just a little bit for other strategies like Drachma in the upcoming set to be competitive, and it also allows people to still feel good about Adamantipators. Block Dragon, while powerful, isn't a card that cripples the Adamantipator strategy. I think that it's a perfect hit for Adamantipators while still keeping them competitive, but also on the flip side, addressing them, which is a win-win situation for both parties. Some information that I just flat out know is that TCG North America never wanted Christian Hawklefibrix to ever hit the TCG. I mean, let's face it, the OCG had Hawklefibrix way before we were able to get it. And for years, in every set that it could have an opportunity to make its debut, it didn't. So it's safe to assume that Hawklefibrix was released at an end of an era because flat out it wasn't healthy, and the TCG North America and other territories realized that it wasn't good. In this particular situation, I feel that North America and Europe can get its way by banning Christian Hawklefibrix. Now, some players may say that Hawklefibrix is way too new to be banned. You have never lived through Pepe format, have you? There is no such thing as a save card unless your name was Firewall Dragon, Elemental Hero Stratos, Dark Magician, Elemental Hero Neos. Those are a lot of save cards. Those are a lot of save cards. Anyways, you guys get what I'm saying. Christian Hawklefibrix does not have plot armor. It was not a part of the anime. I don't necessarily think think that Konami does give cards plot armor, but this card can definitely be banned, and I don't think that it's something that players wouldn't be too mad over. We know that Konami doesn't address online tournaments. Personally, I don't think that online tournaments are a good representation on how the format is, but one thing I will not deny is Hocklifyrix's power. If you ban this card, then Edlich takes a huge hit, Synchro decks take a huge hit. Crazy thing is that I made a video about Synchro sucking, and a Link card enables Synchros, but that's beside the point. I don't think that Hulk is a card that is powerful enough to be banned. There are quite a few choke points to stop the Hulk, and it does require a pretty big part of your extra deck, but at the same time, I'm here to progress the Yu-Gi-Oh card game to bring us into Series 11, and Hulk would bring us back into Series like 5 or 6. Whenever Synchros are out. Moving on to Limited, since I am now an executive of Konami, I'm gonna make some moves that may make some people upset, but at the same time, it actually makes perfect sense. For the same reason why I banned Christian Hocklifyrix, I'm going to limit Magician Souls. Now, Magician Souls is a really good card. It's been revered as the second coming as Pot of Greed. Where was Pot of Greed on the Forbidden List? Why would you guys make that connection and not expect me to hit it? Again, this Forbidden List isn't about attacking cards that are broken. And while the argument can definitely be made that Magician Souls is one of the more busted cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm limiting it to hit Edlich without hitting Edlich, kind of like how I did to Adamantipator. The crazy thing about this is that I feel really dirty making this list because I feel that none of these cards should be on the Forbidden List, but I know I have to get us to Series 11, and Magician Souls does nothing to help us. It does nothing to progress the strategies coming in the next set. I'm also a real smart cat. I don't know if y'all noticed just yet, because me limiting Magician Souls right now may cause an upset, but when next year, when I can reprint it, I can unlimit it, and then get you guys' money again. This is so evil. Like, where did this dark side come from? Now, the last card I am going to limit probably will have you up in arms. This isn't a card that necessarily needs to be hit, but it's actually pretty popular. So I'm going to limit Magical Meltdown hitting the Invoked Engine. Now, the Invoked Engine is a strategy that can be splashed into a lot of other strategies to make them better. I don't want none of that in Season 11. Like, I just want you to buy Season 11 stuff. Now, this sounds completely evil until you look at it from this standpoint. The Invoked Engine has existed for almost 3 to 4 years, if I remember correctly. That and the Invoked Engine has went completely untouched. It is now hitting its strides in popularity and is becoming extremely powerful. A way to limit the Invoked Engine from being played in other strategies is to hit one of its key consistency pieces. Now, this would apply especially to a strategy that actually becomes an entire deck, but when you look at Invoked, it's an engine and nothing more. Moving towards semi-limited, this is typically the most awkward part of a Forbidden List because sometimes cards go on here, sometimes cards don't. It's a really weird spot to put a card at too because of consistency issues unless the card relies on one another. I'm not going to touch anything on the semi-limited or bring anything on semi-limited because, again, not every single part of a Forbidden List needs to be addressed. So knowing that I've done all of this dirt, I've probably enraged 90, if not 100% of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive community. I'm going to appeal to the casuals. To be honest with you guys, casual players drive the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. And if I were a Konami executive, of course I would care about the competitive players as well, but I also have to make the casual players want to continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Another good thing to speak on about casual players is that they love deck diversity. So if I bring cards off the Forbidden List that may or may not be competitive, but actually promote diversity, then I can get away with mass murder on the Forbidden List. Look, we all know it. I'm just saying what I could do, not what I would do if I were an executive. Unlimited would be Sky Striker Widowmaker. Now, Sky Striker has seen a little bit of success on online tournaments, but again, if I'm a Konami executive, I don't pay attention to online tournaments. I'm just going through the natural progression of lists. Typically, when a card goes from limited to semi-limited, it actually can be addressed as unlimited, meaning that Sky Strikers would get a huge boost. This is what ultimately players would be screaming for. Diversity. Even though we pretty much already have it now, Sky Striker getting that huge boost would give the same players that were screaming for Sky Strikers to be banned another deck to play that they will cheer about because those were the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Next on this list would be a surprise card that would come completely out of left and do nothing for the deck. So I'm going to unlimit Dynamite, the True Draco Fighter. I've been accused as being a True Draco fan, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's true. Fortunately for everyone, Dynamite the True Draco Fighter would put some hype into True Dracos and a sense of, oh, we're not giving up on the other series, but not necessarily do much for True Draco. And then lastly, Unlimited, this would get everyone to rejoice and say that this is the best Forbidden List ever. Pantheism of the Monarch would finally come to 3. Now this is actually another card that may have a little bit of relevancy, especially if you could mix it with True Draco, but would ultimately fall flat on its face compared to the new cards coming out in Series 11, still also recognizing how powerful Edglitch and Adamancipator are, but at least for the next month, players would feel like it's a very diverse format, and even though it's still a very diverse format after these hits, players will still complain about certain strategies and I'll have to do this all over again. Oh my God. I'm an executive. Players are not happy no matter what I do, so I might as well just make money off of it, right? Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Of course, I do have a perfect Forbidden List video you should check out right there. It's pretty awesome. Also, if you guys want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video up, and share with a friend. I hope you guys are having an awesome day and staying safe like I will be.